We've seen how to create the basic structure of our table, but now we need to start adding some rows and column to get some data in there that we can see. We use the table row, or the TR element, to represent a row in the table. And we'll use this inside the header to represent a row of headings, in the footer to represent the various elements we might show in the footer, and in the body to represent the various rows of data. Now in the header, we use the table header data element, or a TH, to define the individual cells within that row, or the individual columns, you can think of them, in that row, and that will be where we'll actually put the data that we want to show up in the header. In the body and the footer, we use the table data, or the TD element, and that's how we define the cell data for the body or the footer. So the TD and the TH are essentially the same thing, but we use the TH in the header to represent those header items. Let's go into our document here now. We've got our T head, and we'll just add a row to that, a table row, and right now that doesn't do anything. It's when we put this table head in here that we're actually starting to add some data to it. So we'll indicate that we want to do the various list types and tags. And if we save that and refresh now, we can start to see the table taking shape. We've got two column headers now that are showing up there. In the footer, I'll put a row in the footer. And here we'll do the TD, or the table data. And I'll just put, for our example, just a sentence here rather than some summaries. And we'll see how that'll render out. So we've got our header, we've got our footer. You can see that's going to show up now. And you'll notice the way these things are lining up. So we have a row in the heading, and we have two different table headers. So we've got kind of two columns. And then in the footer we have a row, and we just have the one column. And so you'll notice down here that that's flowing underneath the first column of the headers, and then the second column is standing out here all on its own. So let's go into the body, and we'll add in a couple of table rows, and each one of these is going to have two cells in it. So we'll have that row, and then let's copy that and paste it down here. So we've got our list types, so we might have our unordered list and our ordered list. And then for the tags, we want to use our escape characters here. So we'll do and less than UL, and we'll do greater than, and then we'll do the less than again, and we'll do the list item and put that in there as well. And I'll kind of cheat a little bit. For the ordered list, we'll copy that over, and we'll just chase this to OL. We'll save that and refresh. And now we're starting to get a little more of a table. Still got our caption, we've got our headers, and now we're starting to see these columns coming in. And if I highlight it, you can kind of see that we've got the headers, and that left column then is the first header and the first cell, the first table data from each item. Because our footer only had one TD, one table data, it's falling into that first column along with all of the others. You also note that the headers, because we use the TH, those headers are coming out as bolded. That's something that the client is doing here. If I go back and change this to a TD in here, you'll see it just shows up, left justified, slightly changes the typeface. So the browsers, the clients, treat those table headers a little bit differently when they're rendering that out. So we have a basic structure. We can see now that we've got these items in there. We've got our rows and our columns and our caption for the table.